Namaskar, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, and welcome to Dev Talks. This is Aadi. I have with me Miss Joyeeta Basu from the Sunday Guardian, who will tell us कि यार Bengal and Bangladesh, there's a crisis in both these, one state and one country. Let's try and find what is happening. Has Bengal lost its culture? The Bengal region lost its culture because that when you have such crisis coming in, one of the biggest things that you can see is that there is a certain amount of culture which has gone off. So let's try and find out what is happening. Has Bengal and Bangladesh lost their roots? Bangladesh, we know for a fact, has lost its roots. What's happening in Bengal as well? Let's understand. Namaskar, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining in, and pleasure to have you on the platform once again.
Thank you, Adi. Thank you for inviting me for this show. I really enjoyed, I think, a couple of times I've been here before.
Yeah. So, ma'am, tell me what's happening in Bengal as of now. I mean, we had a huge protest and everything like that for the RJ car incident, and suddenly everything has died down. Everything is kind of back to normal. Is that what? Am I being clear in my analysis?
No, Adi, actually, Durga Puja is beginning. And what has
Okay.
happened is, you see, today is actually Chaturthi, meaning the
Hmm.
fourth day of Navratri, although Durga Puja is actually from the sixth day, Shoshti onwards, day after tomorrow. But
Hmm.
as it happens, Mamata Banerjee has made this into celebration, into a festival in the sense what used to be earlier maybe 4 or 5 days, it's now a kind of 10 to 12 days. It continues. So, and that is one way I would say. I mean, see, for example, she goes around inaugurating these pandals, say from the day after what you call, the Shraddh that is comes, which we call Mahalaya. And after that, the inauguration, I mean, she has even done it on the day of Shraddh, by the way. That Mahalaya also she has done. Forget about
Yeah.
all the inauspicious beliefs, customs, everything. She has done that also. So from that day onwards, she starts inaugurating the pandals. And you see, the thing about Bengal is that, so what used to happen, say from, as I said, from Panchami Shoshti, meaning for fifth day and sixth day of Navratri, is now starting right after Mahalaya, meaning right after Shraddh. And although puja does not happen, because as according to our customs, puja must happen from the sixth day to 10th day, which is Vijayadashmi. But after
Hmm.
Vijayadashmi also, the pandals will be, she insists on the bigger pandals, they must be keeping the idols over there for the next 2 3 days. So that, and then she has a carnival. All right, after 2 or 3 days of the Vijayadashmi, or maybe 3 or 4 days of Vijayadashmi, she has a carnival where all the bigger pujas will come out with their idols. So this is the immersion that happens. And she kind of tries to create that Brazil carnival like atmosphere, minus the, whatever, the paraphernalia. But it is there. People will come with dhak and dhol and drums and this and that. So what happens in the process is that it's almost what used to be a 4 5 days event, it's now at least 10 days, 12 days, 13 days. And this is one way, while it is very good when we are talking about the culture, is Bengal losing its culture? Not really. It is not like Bangladesh as yet. But this insistence, this stress on extending every festival, I mean this festival in particular, which is our biggest festival, for 15 days. You see, when you are not being able to pay your employees, when you are not being able to pay them DA, when you are not being, your state is in absolute the doldrums, your financial situation is really bad, how do you keep the attention diverted? Number one, you have festival, after festival, after now even Ganesh Chaturthi is being celebrated in Bengal in a big way. I have grown up in Bengal. Never in my life have I seen Ganesh Chaturthi being celebrated in Bengal, because that was not part of our culture, religious, social, cultural history. It was never that. But nowadays, even Ganesh Chaturthi is being celebrated. So there are several holidays, there are several festivals, and this is what, during the protests also, she kept on saying, enough of protest, now return to shop, meaning now return to your festivals. So this is one, I would say, I mean, okay, I'm being a critic obviously here, that this is one diversionary tactics. And it really, for her, it was good that these protests came right before Durga Puja. It happened in August. Everybody was worried that Durga Puja is October. Inside 2 months, they kept the momentum for 2 months, and everyone was worried. All my friends who have been participating in many of these protests and all, They were all worried that once Durga Puja comes, that will be the end of the protest, and that is what exactly she is banking on, that people will forget. But it will all depend on the resilience, on the wish of the people, whether they want to continue with it even after Durga Puja or not. Right now, everybody, because Durga Puja happens, it's the biggest festival, I mean, as you know. So that is what is going on in Bengal. Even though the junior doctors are trying to keep that protests ready, protest the tempo up and the momentum there. But you see something very interesting that is happening. Kolkata Puja at one level, in but I would say Durga Puja in general, it's very contemporary. It is not just religious tradition and all, contemporary in the sense, say for example, Mr. Modi started Swachh Bharat. That year I
Hmm.
went to Kolkata for Durga Puja. All the pandals said Mr. Modi sweeping with that Swachh Bharat thing. So you understand, they take up the present day issue and they showcase it. Then there was this Chandrayaan. So you will see, I think it happens even in Mumbai's Ganesh Puja, where they put up Chandrayaan and all that. This time, Archikor is the big issue, and Mamta Banerjee has a huge problem in her hands. In fact, that is what exactly we have carried a report in Sunday Guardian. They are worried how to, what if the protest suddenly in front of one pandal, and these are big pandals, and there are lakhs and
Yeah.
lakhs of people going out everywhere. What if suddenly somewhere some protest erupts? There have been directives that have been going out that no way will you show any RG Corp related lighting topic. But even then, these things are chota chota, these things are coming up. And so the police is in a bind about how to keep the situation under control. I think this is something that has happened for the first time in, as far as I remember, Durga Puja being celebrated in Kolkata. That, a burning issue against the state government, and whether it is finding a reflection in Bengal's biggest celebration, number one. And number two is that there are clubs and all. I mean, she has been giving money to the clubs, 50,000, 85,000, and all these things. These clubs all create their vote banks. That is how she keeps, one of the ways she keeps her vote bank kind of, I mean, people voting for her.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when you have these people connecting directly, these are all small clubs which are catering to one particular locality, sometimes to every street. There's a club and there's a Durga Puja on every street corner it is happening. In fact, where my house is in Calcutta, I think inside a radius of maybe 300 meters, there are at least four pujas happening. And if
Wow.
all of them are getting, yeah, it is that prevalent. Thousands and thousands of pujas happen. So you see, as a result of which, what happens if you're giving these people, the clubs, money? If these clubs are accepting money, in a way, they're taking care of those maybe 10 streets around their clubs, around their pandals. You understand? They will be canvassing for you, they will be getting votes for you. So that is the basic idea. So this is, I would say, micromanagement of how to get votes. So, and Durga Puja is also used in a way to micromanage that voting population, and they all ultimately will go and vote for Trinamool because the local councillors are there. So they have the pulse of, I mean, they are totally connected with the people, and puja is a big way of connecting. So one puja, so all these politicians, many of these MPs, MLAs, corporators, they all have their own pujas. So you see, that is where the political network works on the ground. And but this time we have to see whether that is being disrupted or not. So this time, let us see how it happens, whether that, rhythm, that the way things work smoothly, whether that is disrupted in any manner or not. Right now, I don't see that happening in a big way, but chota mota protests may happen. And also, I would not say it is correct to say ki protests have died down. That has not happened.
Ma'am, what are the people saying on the ground? See, at the end of it, there was a certain amount of discontentment that came out for Mamta Banerjee, and we could see a lot of the so-called Bhadralok coming out and saying we will not vote for her again. For the first time, probably the Bhadralok of Bengal said that. Might I request you if you can switch back to the Wi-Fi, ma'am? This is kind of not really clear.
Okay. I will just do that one
Your
second.
network is kind of flipping up and down. So it got clear and then
Oh,
became blurry.
I
And
know it happens.
oh, no worries, no worries, no worries. So just guys, by the time, please hit the like button. I know we came in early. Ma'am has to go somewhere. So, that's
Right?
why
What
I.
is happening?
Oh, no worries. She'll be back.
I'm just
Ma'am had to go somewhere. So that's why we kind of started early. Yeah, you're perfectly fine now. Awesome. Ma'am, so I was asking,
I'm not going to mention where I'm going.
no, that's why I'm saying ma'am had to go somewhere. That's why we came in a little early rather than the regular Dev Talks times. But in anyways, the fact I wanted to ask you, there was a certain amount of discontentment that came out as far as Mamata Banerjee is concerned, and the Bhadralok came out and protested quite badly this time, and they were name calling and all that stuff that happened during that protest. What is the ground reality right now? Fair enough, the Durga Puja is happening, and this is a very important festival. So people will keep their issues on the side, do their celebrations, do the pujas and everything like that. And will the protests restart again? Will the people come back down on the ground because the case is still not finished? As a matter of fact, there have been multiple more incidents after that of the similar nature.
You see what is happening right now? Those protests were not just about the Arjikor incident. To
Hmm.
basically say it was just about one particular incident, that was not the case.
No.
It
Yeah.
was a reflection of the general discontentment with Mamata Banerjee's government. And
Hmm.
I mean, as I said, I know almost everybody. I know in Calcutta, everybody was out on the streets on 14th August night and 15th. And you see, and that is where Mamata Banerjee really got scared. But you see, there's one thing you have to understand. When you are looking at Bengal's voting pattern, it is not the so-called Bhadralok who votes for her and makes her win. She has her vote bank. Okay, and the thing is that she has her vote bank. And say, for example, if one community dominates out of say 290 or whatever odd seats are there, assembly, if one community is dominating 100 seats, what happens then? She already gets an advantage of 100 seats. All right, and from there the competition starts. Say, for example, there is certain x percentage of voting has happened. Now, out of or let me be say 60% to 70% of Hindus who have voted have not voted for her, but 10 or 15%, the rest of them have voted for her. But then there is this other community which has voted for her about 80%. So
Yeah.
does that 70% of the Hindu community voting against her matter? It will not. So all she needs is that, that if she already has a hold on say 20 or 30% vote, which will automatically come to her, all she needs is a little bit of extra push from a little bit of Hindu vote. She doesn't need to care. You get my point. So when you say the Bhadralok Hindu Bangali etc., I mean, at least the most of the people I know, they're very anti Mamata for various reasons. I mean, actually, maybe not anti Mamata personally, but the way things run on the ground in particular, they are very, very opposed to that. The way there is the kind of misrule that is there, there's a lot of. My only worry is that, God knows what they are going to send me some legal notice or some notice. So I'm going to be a little tempered in my criticism. So the
Yeah.
thing is that certain things that are happening on the ground that should not have happened, and it is not that Mamata Banerjee doesn't know about it. She knows exactly what is going on the ground, and she herself has pulled up her MLAs, her corporators, and said, "Why are you doing this and why are you doing that, etc." So she knows exactly what these people are doing. And the thing is that, in spite of that, when you look at the Lok Sabha election results, how many did she win? 29 seats. And people were convinced during the Lok Sabha, ahead of the Lok Sabha elections. And I'm talking about serious people who know a lot. They have the pulse of the ground. There was immense anger against her on the ground, immense anger. But that did not show on the voting. I
Hmm.
mean, why is it that? I mean, that is the most incredible thing. It is easy. I mean, her critics will easily dismiss it by saying, "Oh, rigging." And there are various ways of rigging that happen. Hasn't rigging been happening in Bengal? Bengal has a long history of
Long,
rigging.
long
I mean,
history.
it's a very long history. So it is not that. But then, in spite of that, you cannot explain the kind of mandate she got by rigging, you cannot explain. So somewhere she has a huge, I mean, presence apart from one particular community. Even I think what is known as BJP has been wanting to create this Labharti class, what Arvind Kejriwal's vote bank is. You know that thing, and these people are so dirt poor. For them, even 1,200 rupees a month is a huge income. So these are the people. Is my connection okay? Is that okay?
Yeah, yeah, perfect, perfect.
Okay, perfect, great. So the thing is that you see, so now and two, but even then, is there no anger? There is huge anger. But even then, I'll tell you how it happens. One particular constituency, I'm not going to name that constituency because that constituency has a very high profile MP. Now, that constituency, maybe there are 8 assembly seats or 7 assembly seats. Now, that constituency, they know that out of those 7 assembly seats, they are going to lose in maybe 4 assembly seats. They're 100% certain they're going to lose and lose badly. But the other 3 constituencies are minority dominated. So what they're going to do is that from
Good
those 3
focus there.
constituencies, 90% of the vote they will pick up, 95%. So whether those 4 constituencies that are Hindu dominated, the majority population dominated, whether they vote for them or not, does not matter. So until and unless the minority community is angry with her, until and unless there is a division in the minority community's vote, she is going to win. No, but having said that, that is what her opposition has been trying to do, to split the minority vote. But when you look at the minority voting pattern in Bengal, what happens is that they're awfully scared at BJP or scared about BJP. Okay. And with this Ram Mandir thing and this talk about 400 thing and all, in spite of the anger they had against Mamata Banerjee, they all came together. Because then, you see, Mamata Banerjee was not the big evil for them any longer. Although, as I said, they're extremely unhappy with her. BJP became the bigger evil. This
Hmm.
Hindutva and all. So there was complete consolidation, and as a result of which they were winning seats with maybe only 3 assembly seats, because
Hmm.
the voting percentage in these assembly seats are very high, all right, compared to the other majority dominated constituencies. So with 3 assembly seats, okay, maybe the victory margin will come down to, in a Lok Sabha election, maybe 30,000, 40,000, 50,000. But even if you win with 1 vote, that is a win, isn't it? And that is what I think happened in Bengal to a huge extent. Because if you look at I know there are majority dominated constituencies that have not voted for her. There are lots of people. There is a genuine dislike. But the thing is that the fear factor came into play, and what happened, as I told you.
This is really amazing, and I see the same sort of a scenario in Punjab. It's the Congress that actually did so much wrong to Punjab, but all that has transposed onto Mr. Modi, and that's really funny to me, because it's the communists that actually ruined Bengal, and then the lady came in and took it further down. But the anger is on somebody else. It's misdirected, and I don't know how this whole thing happens. People don't think, or whatever it is. But ma'am, how does Bengal today look at
No,
events in
I think the
Bangladesh?
problem
Please.
is the yeah, if I can mention, I think the
Yeah, yeah,
problem
please, please.
primarily is with the majority community. I'm sorry, it sounds bad,
Yeah, yeah,
but
it
it
is,
is
it is.
actually the dislike
Absolutely.
for the majority community that because of which this, they all come, a lot of people come together, and not
No,
just
that
one
that it
particular
is.
minority
And even
community.
even the
Others also do
majority, even the Hindus are. I mean, they're more concerned about मैं अपना घर, मैं अपना ये. They're not bothered about the
that.
communal thing. They're not bothered about the community. They're not bothered about the larger purpose. वो है नहीं. And you see, in Gurgaon, the voting percentage has been 49%. That just tells
Mm-hmm.
you they're just not interested. यार हमारे पास we've
They're
got
not
crores in our
interested.
bank account. We've got bloody 3 cars. We've got a good apartment. Bugger all everything after that. It doesn't matter to us. We are staying in Delhi. We are, very this thing, and leave everything after that. Chahe jo marzi aaye, it doesn't make a difference to us. That's something that we see. Ma'am, how does Bengal see what happened in Bangladesh?
Uh, listen, there is a genuine fear. There's a genuine fear of being swamped. There's a genuine fear of, because this is happening right in the neighborhood. They speak the same language. So you see, uh, one has to understand Bengal's history with Bangladesh. While there is a very, Bengalis are as Indian as they can be, but there is a section, I have to say that, who are more aligned towards, of course, they are also Indian, they are very Indian, but they have things like this protest against Hindi, this protest, this anti-Hindi thing that is there. So you see, that country is such a fantastic place because they speak Bengali, my mother tongue, and their mother tongue is not that they would like to join Bangladesh or anything like that. I'm not saying that, but this reaction against Hindi kind of makes certain people a little radical. Let's put it this way. So that section is a little wondering what is going on because they are discarding Bengali. They are all talking about we are like Pakistanis now. That is what has happened. But I think the kind of anti-India sentiments that you are witnessing over there, that I think people in Bengal are not liking it. People are very angry with Bangladeshis. And the kind of persecution of Hindus that is happening, that is, people are extremely angry because you see, that is the only conversation you have when you go to Bengal, whichever conversation. And I have lots of quote unquote secular friends. I never thought the last time I went to Calcutta, the only conversation that we had was about, how they were feeling swamped because of
Hmm.
this influx from Bangladesh that is happening. So if you are looking at this thing and how the demography is changing,
Yep.
even in
That,
Calcutta,
that's
demography
my
is
next question,
changing.
actually.
Uh,
That's my next
and
question,
and
actually.
are people worried? People are not just worried, people are extremely worried. And so that way they are looking at Bangladesh and they are wondering what if this happens to us. So no, there is zero support for Bangladesh from, at least among the people I know, from among the majority community, zero support. As I said, those who are very proud of speaking Bengali and they are also speaking Bengali, they are also wondering what is going on.
I mean, I saw certain amounts of when this whole Hilsa fish thing happened. I put it out, and I've been after Bangladesh once or twice a week. I do a massive update on Bangladesh. I have a huge following from Bangladesh as well. They get in touch with me personally. They send me details of what's happening inside. As a matter of fact, I have Hindus following me, Muslims following me, some security personnel following me, sending me inputs, and whatever I present in my shows is all coming in from Bangladesh. They tell me, ki, sir, this we've banned this Hilsa and all that, but this is stupid. They also said this is very stupid. So I put out a thing. I said, okay, my Bengali friends who are there from West Bengal, please tell me, would you guys buy this fish? I was overwhelmed with mails, overwhelmed with messages saying, no, sir, we will not touch it.
Exactly.
They're killing
Exactly.
our people. They're killing Hindus there. Why should we touch this damn fish? Let them keep it. Let them do what they want to with it. So there is that
You know,
feeling of Indianism which is kind of spurting out when they saw what happened there. The
yeah, I'll
reason
tell
I
you something.
combine these two together is the demographic change that you refer to is mostly Bangladeshi. Now, is the community
Yes, to
there
a large
getting
extent.
threatened? That, yeah, boss, if it's happening there, how far is that here?
Yes. No, apart from that, as I said, there is this very strong India feeling that people have, number one. Number two, because of reasons of religion, uh, let's put it this way, the Bangladeshis have been celebrating Saurabh Ganguly's defeat, maybe. Okay, that is something Bengalis will not tolerate, all right? You are giving Gali to Saurabh, you are bad. Okay, so all these things play into the, and let's face it this way, I would say, uh, in spite of these small pockets of, Bengali first and nothing but Bengali, small very tiny pockets, Bengal is very well integrated. In spite of everything, it's very well integrated with the rest of the country. I don't know what is happening in Tamil Nadu and all this Dravidian movement and all. So Mamata Banerjee
It's,
has been.
it's only online, ma'am. It's only online. Trust me. I live in the south, right? When you
Ha
go on
ha
the
ha.
street, people say, sir. This is the reaction you get. And I've traveled around the place, asked people, and people said, sir, what are you talking about? We've never heard of this nonsense. Nobody on the
Which is
ground
good.
talks about it. It's just
Yeah,
in,
but then
there's those 10 handles online who will create this narrative, and the politicians will create this narrative, but the ground level people, they're like, yeah, boss, we're not bothered about it. We are India. What's wrong with you? So
exactly. And so you see why Mamta Banerjee keeps on talking about, whenever he has to talk about Modi or BJP, she says Bohiragato, meaning outsider. And then she herself will bring Irfan Pathan from Gujarat, then Shatrughan Sinha from Bihar, Kirti Azad from Bihar. And that is what exactly she does. So you see that ultimately this identity question, I would say, does not really bother Bengal. So that is at one level. Bengalis are in general are not bothered about Bangladesh at all. Now when you're talking about this Hilsha fish and all, you see, let me just put it as a Bengali, I'm telling you, Hilsha fish that comes from Bangladesh, it is extremely expensive. 1 kilo will be 2,000 rupees, 2,500 rupees, 3,000 rupees. I'm telling you, I'm telling you. So there was this very fake piece that was carried by one of our, one of the quote unquote liberal websites in India, which said that Bengalis in Delhi, they are really repenting the fact that Bangladeshi Ilish is not coming. Okay, how ahead of Durga Puja, Bangladeshi Ilish not coming is going to really hurt them and all that. First of all, and that article, every Bengali I know on X, now it is not Twitter, of course, everybody was banning that. Everybody was like, what nonsense is such a fake article? Number one, Bangladeshi Ilish has always been out of reach. I mean, I myself have forgotten when was the last time I had any Bangladeshi Ilish. I think that was in Bangladesh, and they murdered that Ilish. So, number one, perfectly good, fine hilsas are available in India. It happens in not only in West Bengal, they come even from Gujarat. There are places in UP. They're all, there's
Orissa,
Hilsha is happening over there.
Orissa.
So, yeah, Odisha also. So, as a result of which, Bengalis, what's so special that we have to have that Poddar Ilish, River Padma? That is the Hilsha. So, and but what this piece, this particular one website, as I said, did that, the kind of damage it did, because all the Bangladeshis started picking up that piece and started saying, look how we fixed India. See, by stopping the export of Hilsa, we have fixed India. You jokers.
India. India.
That's the only thing I can think of them. You are jokers. You fixed India by not exporting Hilsa to us. For God's sake, man, give us a break. How many people eat Bangladeshi dish?
I don't
And
eat fish
it's
itself.
extremely
I mean,
expensive.
a lot of people don't eat fish. They fail
Yeah,
to
no,
recognize
if you're
that.
talking primarily about Bengalis and West Bengal and all, the thing is that if you go to CR Park Market 1, Chittaranjan Park Market 1,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
many hilsas do a total maybe about 10 or 15 or 20 Bangladeshi hilsas are there. So who are you selling this hilsa to that you are making an international issue out of it? You see, so when I'm explaining the Indian Bengalis, Hindu Bengalis response to Bangladesh, they are like, this is the response. We could not care less about what you are. But yes, this is a lesson for us. We should be very, very careful because we may also get swamped.
Do you think that the people are now talking in their, little drawing rooms, that actually Bengal has this habit now, chai ka dukaan pe kafi newspaper ke saath, ek bidi cigarette ke saath, the conversations happen there. The policies for the state are set there in those chai ka dukaan. And I know I have a lot of Bengali friends. Every time they want to talk something big, they say, "Chal cigarette pi ke aate hain, chai pi ke aate hain." Then the conversation will actually start without a cup of
Adda
tea.
concept we have.
Right? So, अड्डा के बिना वो बात नहीं होगा. And so my
Yeah,
my
yeah,
my
वो तो
point,
है.
so that it has to be in that atmosphere where three, four guys sitting with a newspaper and talking about, is the conversation today that, boss, if it's happening there with all these illegals here, how long is it that this will happen here?
It's not now. As I said, this conversation has been going on for a very long time. And you see, as I said, demography is changing. Say, for example, in Calcutta, there were certain mixed neighborhoods. Okay. And those mixed neighborhoods used to be maybe 70 majority, 30 minority. From there, it went to 60 majority, 40 minority. Then from there, it is now become 70 minority and 30 majority. Okay. And as a result of which, what has started happening is that these are the neighborhoods that are there. Now, what has happened is that uh, the people who are actually a minority in that neighborhood now, who have their houses and all, they are, a lot of them are leaving those areas.
Yep, I know a lot of people giving up their
Yeah,
houses, just
those,
getting out.
they're selling off their houses, they're buying a flat somewhere else in Calcutta. I know of cases where factory, they have taken out the factory from there, uh, taken it somewhere else. So that has started happening. So what is 70-30 now may even become 90-95% uh, one side dominated. And those are areas that are, I would say, impenetrable. uh, the rule of the state often does not run there. I know I'm going to be panned very badly by TMC supporters and all. Like
Don't worry, they
Shandesh
don't watch
Kali.
channel like mine. They don't watch channel like
No,
mine.
no.
It's really too high level for them.
This is what exactly happened in a place like Shandesh Kali. Remember that Sheikh Shah Jahan. So all these areas, I would say, even in Calcutta, they have all their own little Shah Jahans, Shah Jahan or whatever you call it. I mean, I say Shah Jahan. So the thing is
Hmm.
that so all these places have these muscle men. What we saw in Shandesh Kali, remember that those women rose up in protest saying that this man was torturing them, and he and his henchmen. And there is not just one, there are several areas like
Yeah.
that in Bengal, and that is the worry. And that is the worry because you see, and it is the state government's duty to ensure that law and order is maintained in those areas, that a community that is gradually getting marginalized in these particular areas, they do not have to bear the brunt of the diktat of that other side. But that is what is happening in Bengal, and especially in the rural areas, and that is troublesome. So if you're asking me about if it is a matter of conversation, oh my God, if you talk to people, that is all they talk about privately,
That,
totally
I,
privately.
ma'am, people are writing mails to me that, sir, we are worried about this. That's why I asked you this question. That's why I wanted to actually bring in Bangladesh into the Bengal conversation. I know Bengal is a
Yeah.
problem, but what's happening around her, it's kind of around the state is also a bigger problem. Lastly, I'll ask you one more
Hmm.
question before we kind of get into some audience questions, and I'll let you go after that. Uh, I promised 45 minutes, and I'll end before that. The question is about the culture itself. Bengal has a very rich tradition of literacy, of reading, of poetry, of a whole lot of things, and a lot of writings used to come out of Bengal. People was considered very intellectual and stuff like that. Now, when have those people just shut up, or have those people just said, "Yeah, can't do much"? What has happened to that?
Well,
Ma'am, the independence movement started from Calcutta, right?
all
And so
those
did the
people
call
in
from Pakistan.
Bengal,
So it's ironic that the call from Pakistan also came from there, from the Bengal region, and the independence movement also kind of people, Subhash Chandra Bose, the icon. What
yeah,
happened to that,
what has happened? I'll tell you something. Bengalis are culturally as vibrant as they were earlier. But if
hmm
you're looking at the cultural icons in a place like maybe Calcutta or in Bengal, most of them, I would say majority of them, have been co-opted by the ruling government over there. So, so there are these artists and all who have been on stage with Mamta. Remember the CAA protests and all?
hmm
At that
hmm
time they were happening 2019, 2000, just before COVID started, end of 2019. So there were these huge names of Bengali, maybe the art world, movie world and all, they were all on stage with her. She was going kaka chi chi, kaka chi chi, kaka meaning CAA. She was saying kaka chi chi, kaka chi chi meaning chi chi meaning, whatever,
right,
shame on
yeah,
you type. All
yeah,
of them, all this, there was this big, huge artist with his huge white beard and all. He was also moving around behind us saying "kaka chi chi, kaka chi chi." I'm just imagine that is what has happened. That is the problem. All the intellectuals the public faces, the important names and all, they have all been co-opted by her. Aren't there voices of dissent? Of course, there are lots of voices of dissent. But what happens is that whoever speaks out, they get kind of sidelined. But does not mean that there is not unhappy. They get sidelined. Maybe they will not get work. Maybe they will not be picked up by a particular publisher. Their movies, if they want to make a movie, that movie will not be allowed to release. So you see, it happens at that level. Suppression happens, muzzling happens, co-option happens. But does that mean that there are not people doing it? A lot is happening. It's not that it is not happening. But also here, I think I'd also mentioned to you at that time once, I think the number of people who are leaving Bengal, the huge
Huge.
exodus. I think Bengal has the highest in terms of migration when it comes to white collar that
Yeah.
population. Blue collar is also leaving when it comes to white collar. So what every Bengali does is, wherever they are, in whichever part of the country, they all try to build a Bengal there. So there are poetry is happening over there, art is happening there. I mean, but yeah, they're all professionals, so they may not have that kind of full-time involvement in the world of art and culture and all, but does not mean that they have forgotten their roots or something. I'm telling you, I mean, where I stay and all, in my society itself, we have the Durga Puja has started. This has been going on for the years now. So all those things, and there will be cultural evenings, cultural shows. So all that happens. So all the pujas in Delhi, for example, all of them will bring big Bengali artists from Calcutta. All of them do, and very. So it is there. It is not that it is not there. And but the problem that is also happening is that, you see, there is a very strong left. Bengal was a left movement for a long time. So some of this, if they have not been co-opted by the Trinamool, they are part of the left. So a lot of these voices that are coming out, they are also very left at times, and sometimes they will get involved in things like what isse azadi, usse azadi. That is how this I mean, the left has been trying to hijack this Arjikor movement. Isse azadi, usse azadi. So all those left people have entered. So there is some kind of a confrontation, conflict happening. So
Happening. Yeah. That's
so so
encouraging to
so,
hear.
so understand. Hmm.
That's encouraging to hear. People are asking for solutions, so I'm going to leave it to the people to ask you that question. And guys, please like the video, subscribe. Let's get into questions, and of course your comments. What do you guys say? Of course, you can contribute towards this channel. QR code, PayPal, or super stickers or super chats. Guys, this is a very important. This thing, Bengal is a border state. We need to be worried about it. Yes, all of us are
Very,
irritated as heck with what is happening there. There's no question, but we need to be worried. We need to be talking about it so that people in Bengal who want to change, who want to do something, at least they should know that the rest of the country stands behind them. So that's one thing that I would kind of say very clearly. But before we get in, I want to acknowledge Sarvani. Thank you so much for gifting two memberships to our viewers. Very kind of you. And Madeleine, thank you so much. Who says, thank you so much. He says, do Bengal and Punjab have PTSD that led to this?
No, I don't think
PTSD?
so. Not in Bengal, definitely. I don't think that's the case in Bengal. But Bengal has been, I would say, a little too left throughout. And it has always thought itself as a little intellectual, a little different. And it's a different matter that intellect has fled, because all the intellectuals, everybody who mattered, I mean, everybody has kind of left that state. And sadly, what we are also witnessing in Bengal is some kind of the grassroots culture, I would say, is kind of, I don't want to sound classist, but at the same time, a very popular kind of the grassroots coming from the slums and all that culture has also come into in a very big way. So yes, that loss Bengal has definitely suffered.
Harish Tiwari ji, thank you. Thank you, Basu ma'am, for this Sunday afternoon. So there's a compliment for you. G Man, he
Oh,
says,
welcome, welcome.
the state government is trying hard to keep the secret systematic failures and corruption at the highest levels. The end is coming.
Well, the end has been coming for the last 10 years. I really don't know when the end is coming.
Okay, we seem to have had a network glitch. We should be getting her back. Don't worry, guys. But by the time, my request once again is to like the video. And it's a beautiful state, I must say. And as I said, the pura movement Subhash Chandra Bose ka state hai yaar. I mean, one has to respect the amount of courage that that state has given us, and we have to respect that. But at the end of it, we also see the kind of stuff that is happening today.
Yeah, I
Okay, you're
think.
back.
Am I back? Am I back? I told you my Wi-Fi is a little. So my
Not a problem.
Wi-Fi went away suddenly out of the blue.
Not a problem. The so-called
Yeah,
Bhadra Lok has endured wretched present and future of Bengalis, ensuring the dhimmi status in Islamic Caliphate of wasted Bengal. Wow, that's a hard comment. I'm sure this person is a Bengali who's given this comment, but yeah, that's a pretty hard comment. Anantara Chakraborty Antara Chakraborty ji says, our local puja community has refused government donation from Mamata Banerjee.
I think that's
Is that
absolutely exemplary and that's fantastic. Certain clubs have refused it, yes, and so that is why Mamta should be worried. But you see, when you're talking about a situation like this, what do you do? How do you capitalize on the? I mean, not capitalize. How do you channelize people's anger? Because ultimately, it's about political power. How do you channelize people's anger against Mamta Banerjee to ensure that her government goes in the next election and somebody else comes? That is something terribly missing in Bengal. If you're looking at the BJP, if you're looking at the left, they do not just have the quality. Okay, so
just
and Mamta Banerjee is a very smart player, political player.
just a statement from one of our friends in Bangladesh? He says we can't even have celebrate Durga Puja at Bangladesh, leave alone Ganesh Chaturthi. During Ganesh Puja, madrasa students throw hot water and urine towards our idol. Hindus are being oppressed everywhere. I told you
I
I
mean,
have
that is some.
I have people from Bangladesh writing. I'll send it to you, ma'am. You must go through this stuff. We'll probably get on a call tomorrow on day after. I'll share some details with you. You can probably write an article in the Sunday Guardian. It's not funny the kind of stuff I'm getting from there.
Mhm.
Siddhi Adi by West Bengal CPIM, or you say leftists are backing TMC to win. Leftists have started this into 2019. 2021 elections asked not to vote for BJP. Any
Well, in
comments on that?
certain areas, they did transfer their vote to Mamta. It all depends of what kind of deal the TMC has been able to strike at assembly level.
Oh, really? Vivek says BJP might lose all supporters if president's rule isn't imposed. Personally, I don't agree with it because it'll give her a victim card, which I don't want to give her.
No,
What do you say, ma'am?
yeah, no precedence rule. This lady will. I mean, she's the smartest, one of the smartest political players in this country.
Yeah,
She's going
yeah,
to
yeah,
turn it around, make it about this thing that we are being victimized, and she's going to sweep. So no way. President's
yeah.
rule is something that is not going to solve West Bengal's problem.
In terms of infrastructure projects, what does West Bengal need to revamp or redo or redevelop? It's been raining for 3 months. Still, coastal road of Mumbai has not yet seen flooding.
Well, West Bengal needs to revamp completely. A little bit of municipal work she has done in Calcutta, and it is said that, oh my God, she has done such a she's the best thing that has happened to Bengal. The problem is that when you start confusing municipal work with governance, if the voters are not able to differentiate, for Lok Sabha, you decide that, oh, my councillor built such a nice park in my area, and that is why I'll vote for a particular the ruling party because the park has been built. I mean, you
Gosh.
need intelligent voters also, isn't it? But that is how
Yeah,
most voters think.
look at
That
Haryana,
is the
ma'am.
thing about democracy.
Look at Haryana. If the exit polls are something to be given, I didn't expect BJP to win Haryana. That's for sure, because of the farmers, this
No,
thing and
no,
that
no.
thing. So I didn't expect it to happen. But still, people need to have a certain amount of brain. But in any case, ठीक है. Sarvani says the RJ car protest got hijacked by wokes and leftists. What do you think about it? Is the general society responding in that way, or someone is doing it on purpose? You said this Azadi, Azadi, and the whole
The
LGBT.
Azadi gang has entered the protests and all. We should
Yeah,
have got an idea about which way things are headed from the uh, lawyers who were picked, Indira Jaising, Karunanandi, and all these, they started representing the doctors. So, yeah, it has definitely taken a very left activist turn. But you see, the more left activist turn it takes, it loses the support of the common people. Because you see, common people want this problem actually solved. If the left is trying to use this as a means of coming back and kind of their ground presence and all, I don't think that's going to happen. Because at one level, when people are looking at an opposition for Mamata Banerjee, it's still the BJP. It is BJP's fault that it is not being able to capitalize on that.
True. Last two questions, ma'am. Agastya, he says, ma'am and Adi Bhaiya, as a Bengali, I'm scared of things that are happening in Bengal. Two Bengali girls, RG car incident, and then I hear the Joynagar incident. The biggest fear is police with these criminals. That is something that I think the Chief Justice has also
Well,
commented
it
on.
is, yeah, yes, absolutely.
Uh,
Yeah, the
and
next
last,
question, please.
Nilanjan Gupta ji says, will West Bengal be able to get a respite from such a situation? If it does, uh, will it be a people-led situation?
I don't think uh, in India any such people-led situation is going to happen. This is not Bangladesh, and our governors, I mean governments, are extremely smart. They are not going to use the tactics that Hasina used. Shooting down 500 people, 300 people. And Mamata Banerjee, how smart she is. Okay, there will be goons who will be coming and beating up people, but she's never going to go for a mass shooting and all. It's only then such revolutions happen. Our people, Indians in general nowadays, they're extremely happy going to the movies, eating out, have a certain level of decent lifestyle, going for a holiday. You think we can go for a revolution? It's not going to happen in Bengal. It's not going to happen anywhere in India. It's not going to happen anywhere in Bengal.
We are too comfortable with our lives. On that note, ma'am, I
Yeah,
know
exactly.
you're running late, so thank you so much for the time. Always a pleasure talking to you. I will connect with you about Bangladesh and probably we can do some work together. Till then, Jai Hind, Jai
Sure,
Bharat.
sure, sure. Thank you. Thank you, Adi.
Bye bye.